Hi everyone, Alan here. So today we'll be doing a walk from the Strand, along the Strand, so from Trafalgar Square to Temple Bar. It's probably around just over a kilometre, and we're just panning over Nelson's Column, and now we'll be heading down the Strand. So it's September 21st, around 8:30. And Eva's here as well. So it's actually called Strand, but a lot of people call it the Strand. And it connects Westminster to the City of London. And it's well connected in terms of transport, many bus stops along here, and also tube stations such as Charing Cross. You can get off at the Embankment and also Temple. You'll see here these red London phone boxes. They are no longer in service. Yeah, this one has a phone in it, but I don't think it will be working. They're mainly just tourist attractions.
Toilets.
And toilets.
But not public,
Not public toilets for people to actually go in. So we're just approaching Charing Cross station, and here you can, I think the Bakerloo line serves it. I think a few other tube lines, but also you can actually leave London from here as well. So you've got National Rail.
Look at the old details in this Gothic tower here. I think that was once a water source, a water fountain, like a water source, yeah.
So I'll get closer to the tower.
I might be wrong.
Let's go quickly. We've got 1 second. So we've got this really old tower, and Eva believes it was used as a water source.
I think so, but it also might mean something else, which
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
And that's just outside Charing Cross station. And you've got a few buses here that you can catch as well. But we'll continue our way down the Strand.
So we say the Strand, but officially it's just Strand. And apparently the word Strand comes from Old English Strand, which means by the riverfront.
By the river, yeah.
So just to our right is actually the River Thames.
Yeah.
Makes sense why they would call it that.
You've also got Coutts Bank on the left there.
Very modern compared to the rest.
And it's it's quite a modern building with a glass, very prestigious bank.
Yeah.
Not your average Joe can open up a bank account there.
No. It's also very rare to see because a lot of the buildings in this area are grade listed, and that means that they're so old and so precious that no one can ever demolish them. So this street here mustn't be grade listed because they actually managed to take the front of it off.
Yeah.
But you'll see the rest of the Strand, there's not going to be glass buildings like that.
No. And we've got a black phone box here.
If you head just to the right, you'll get to Embankment Station.
Yep, so that's Embankment Station, and that's the District Line serves Embankment Station.
And there's also Embankment Bridge just down there. You can cross over to get to very close to the London Eye as well.
Yep, and South Bank.
Yeah.
I really like this walkway
It's so
that
cool,
connects the two buildings.
It looks like an old rail
It does,
cabin.
yeah. The detailing. Mm-mm.
You can see the rubbish that's built up
Yep.
over the weekend.
So it's still early in the morning. It's around approaching 9 o'clock. But it's a beautiful London morning. It's 21st of September, and we've been quite lucky with the weather this past week. We've had blue skies every single day of this week, which is quite rare. It's a rare sight in London to get 5-6 consecutive days of blue sky. So just off the Strand, you can access Covent Garden. If you were to come back here at 3-4 p.m, it's gonna get really busy, especially on a weekend. And you've got a theatre district here, so this is the West End. So what's on show at the moment on the left hand side is the waitress at the Adelphi Theatre.
Which the very famous YouTuber Joe Sugg is currently in.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I think Waitress is doing a bit of a marketing thing where they're getting YouTubers to star in them, because I don't know if any of you know Colleen Ballinger or Miranda, because she's also just been in Waitress in New York. So definitely trying to reach out to that YouTube market.
Yeah. And then also you've got Grown Ups. I think that's at the Audley.
Yeah, the Adelphi is very old.
Adelphi, yep.
Quite a known theatre. I actually saw Grease at the Adelphi in the 90s. Yeah.
So you've got one of these dockless bicycles around the city. They're not as popular as the Santander bicycles that you dock. And the problem is people will just dump them anywhere on the street. And sometimes causing hazards and also delays, especially if they were to throw them on the middle of the road or on a train track, which you do get here in London. So this theatre is called the Vaudeville, which is currently showing Grown Ups.
This is nice with the shop layout.
And then you've got a lot of shops along here, and then it's just beautiful buildings. Got a lot of restaurants, places you can pick up lunch, because there's a lot of businesses around here as well, so it's accommodating that market.
So I'm not sure if this pub is still on the Strand. I mean, we're approaching a pub now, a very old one. I'm not sure if it was the original though, but apparently in a pub along the Strand is where the gunpowder plot with Guy Fawkes was first thought out. Which does make sense because we are on the riverfront, very close to Parliament on the other side of the river. But you can see it just shows kind of the age of the history around here.
Yeah.
Really long.
And if you... The Coal Hole, yep, this is a traditional English pub on a street corner.
And I've actually been in there, and it is tiny inside, and all you can smell is beer. It's like it's been soaked into the wood interior inside. Quite an experience. So if you want that London pub experience, this is definitely one to pop into.
And I was mentioning earlier on, if you want to access Covent Garden, you just go straight ahead, and that's where Covent Garden Market is, on Southampton Row. Southampton Street, yeah.
So it says this pub was established in 1873. Yeah, outside and exterior is beautiful.
Yeah.
We're going to be approaching the Savoy Hotel now. Very, very famous and grand hotel in London. Probably an icon in terms of London hotels. I think it got refurbished about 10-15 years ago.
Yeah.
The original decor is something I saw myself. It was beautiful. I've not seen the update. But that's just to the right.
That's the Savoy here. You can see just the grandness about it.
Yeah.
And then you've got all these suit makers along on the right hand side.
And actually just down the end on the right is a theatre which is showing Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, the musical. That's called the Savoy Theatre. It's basically attached to the Savoy Hotel. But it is for public use. Anyone can buy a ticket and go see that show.
You must be able to get views of the river on the other side.
Yeah, you must. And then Simpsons hats and caps, I believe, is part of this. Or is that separate? But the Simpsons is very old in this area as well. I can't remember if it's a hotel or like a restaurant, but I think it's quite old. Actually, maybe it's a restaurant?
It's a restaurant, yeah. Yeah, it's a restaurant.
And then just across the street is Strand Palace Hotel, which is very famous and old here as well. And above the kind of sign of the Strand Palace, you can see that 1930s time that it was built in because of the Art Deco lamps on the outside.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the main things that really shows the Art Deco time of this building, because it was built and put there in the 30s. Apparently this place as well, Hats and Caps, Laird Hatters. Apparently this is very well known in this area and has been around for a very long time. Look at this. So just on the side of this building here, it explains what used to be here in the 18th century. So it says, in this court in the 18th century stood the Fountain Tavern, where the political opponents, what does that say, of Sir Robert Walpole met using the title of the Fountain Club. Also the Coal Hole, the meeting place of the Wolf Club, of which about 1826 Edmund Kean was a leading member. I have to say it's quite hard to read because the words are very close together.
Yes, they are, yeah. And so it's this way here is called the Fountain Court. And it stood on this site.
Yeah. But I think actually down there now is like one of the back entrances to the Savoy.
To the Savoy, yeah. So we're walking under this kind of scaffolding underpass. You are sheltered, so if it does ever rain, you can always come under here. I'll just show you where the Lion King is playing. It's at the Lyceum Theatre, just straight ahead there. And you've got the shot straight ahead there of the River Thames. Hmm?
You don't want your bike going past and grabbing the camera. Waterloo Bridge and Waterloo Station on the right.
Yeah, so we're going to be approaching this crossing now. So you've got River Thames on the right and South Bank and Waterloo Bridge. And then on the left, you've got Holborn and Aldwych. But I'll show you a pan of Waterloo Bridge. We'll be going straight ahead towards Somerset House. Yeah, this is a City of Westminster lamppost. Beautiful detailing, 1902.
Wow.
And I guess you've got the symbol of the gates,
Yeah,
Westminster. Yeah. This is the front entrance of the Lyceum Theatre. I showed you the back on the other side. So that's just off the Strand. So even though we crossed the road, we're still on the Strand.
So on the street signs for the Strand, here it says WC2, which means West Central 2.
Yeah.
So we're west of Central London.
Yep. Just quite strange, because we're kind of heading to east. We're going eastwards, right?
Yeah. Well, we'd have to keep going quite far to get east, I guess. This would maybe still be. Yeah, west seems a bit strange.
Yeah. West would be the other end,
side.
yeah.
There you have it. Two Londoners trying to figure out where we are. Ooh, Somerset House even has scaffolding.
Oh yeah, Somerset House.
I think we'll go right.
That's such
and then
a
we
shame.
Can show the courtyard.
Yep.
Because it's absolutely stunning, and you can get really good views if you go in Somerset House.
Yeah.
And round to the other side on the river. Oh, it's beautiful. Are they open? Yeah, you can go in.
We'll just enter. This is a stunning building and a stunning place. The detailing. And they have events throughout the year, so they've got ice skating during the winter. And then during the summer, you've got an open air cinema.
Yes.
We've actually...
They put chairs.
Yeah.
Alan and I did the open air cinema here years ago. I don't know if you can show the floor, Alan. It's a very cobbled floor. Imagine sitting on that for 2.5 hours. But now they put chairs out.
And we watched Cabaret. And that
so
must have been
good,
what, like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
We've got Pizza Express pizza.
Yep. So this is Somerset House.
It's really beautiful.
Yep.
Did you mention there's an exhibition on at the moment for Uniqlo?
No, yeah. So there is an exhibition at the moment. I think it's ending tomorrow. About Uniqlo and Lifewear, which we'll be attending.
Yeah. It goes through, I think, the history of clothes and creating clothes and coming up with all of the concepts behind it.
It could be for the Uniqlo event.
What do you think? What time does it open?
I think it opens at 10.
Okay, that's good. Look at this church right in the middle of these two
Yes.
streets.
So that you've got a church. I think maybe we'll cross here so I can give you a nice pan of King's College, one of the campuses. Yeah, we'll just cross here now and then just walk along next to the church. So this is the parish church of St. Mary le Strand. And you can see the famous red double-decker buses of London. And then you've got the route master as well, where you can enter from 3 different points. And this is King's College on the right. This is very much a brutalist building. Probably, when would you say, 60s? I really like this. Some people see it as an eyesore. Yeah. But I really enjoyed this kind of design.
List, I think, was 70s.
70s, 80s. Yeah. And then you can see a lot of famous people that attended King's College. So you got Florence Nightingale, Appleton, and now we'll be heading further on, and there's actually an interesting station here which is no longer active. And it's called Strand Station, which I believe was on the Piccadilly line. So scattered across a lot of London, you've got these, they're known as ghost stations. And Strand, here we have it. Strand Station is one of them. I know you've got Brompton Station, which is on old Brompton Street. It is fascinating to see, and if you do come across one, they tend to be quite hidden away, whereas this one on Strand, you won't miss it if you walk down this end. On that street corner there, that used to be like a King's College shop, and it's been closed down now, which I've only found out today. Like in most cities, you'll find shops closing or moving, and it is a shame, but rent prices around here are just ridiculous, and they're just pushing people out. So this is what would have been the entrance to the station. And you can see there, they've completely barricaded it, so no entry anymore. So this building on the right, it's 180 the Strand, or 180 Strand, and during Fashion Week you get a lot of photographers around here, and I think sometimes they hold fashion shows inside this building, and again it's got that brutalist design.
This one's a bit lighter feeling,
yeah,
maybe more 60s.
Yep. And then here you can see these are where the Santander bikes, this is where you would dock them. It's a great way of getting around the city, around central London. You need to pay £2 to have access to the bikes, and that'll give you 24-hour access. And if your journey is less than half an hour, it's free to ride. Otherwise, once you go over the half an hour, then you're charged an hourly rate.
Yeah, but you still have to pay the £2 just that.
Yeah, you need to pay the £2 access fee. And as Eva mentioned, this building here is definitely a lighter touch to the brutalism. Here we have a public toilet, which I'm not sure is active. I've actually never been into one, and I don't think I would want to go into one. But you know, if you're desperate, you'll need to find it. And there's another church here, just in the middle of the road, really, at the intersection.
Yeah, it's definitely quite an interesting layout of the roads here, where it crosses off the churches. And
now you've got some modern buildings here, offices to let.
Is that Temple Station there?
And there's a tube station down the end, and I think that is Temple. You can hear the bells ringing.
It's just over there is actually the Courts of Justice, right?
Yep, and then straight ahead there are the Courts of Justice.
If we follow this road straight around the corner, we could show you the outside. Quite Gothic architecture there, very, very old.
I think we can go.
So the Courts of Justice are really where the biggest, most famous cases are heard for the courts. For some examples, her name's left my mind, but you know the lawyer who tried to sue the government for Brexit?
Gina Miller?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That was held there.
Oh, right.
And then also the phone hacking, I think, was held there.
Yeah.
We had a newspaper quite a while ago now hack into a lot of celebrities' phones and emails. There was a huge trial. Was it News of the World?
News of the World,
shut
yeah.
down because of it. And that was held at the Courts of Justice, I believe, as well. So it's still on the Strand. Which is
Still on the Strand, yep.
So that church bell is actually doing the song of the bells of St. Clement's. I think that song has something to do with like the medicine for the plague.
Okay.
I might be mixing up my facts here, guys. But yeah, it's quite cool how that's playing that song. Obviously, as a child in England, we would sing that. The bells of St. Clement's. Can you hear the tune?
Yes.
Maybe it's not about the medicine, maybe it's just about the church. Anyway, here's the court.
And here's the court. It's the Royal Courts of Justice.
Yeah, that's insane.
Again, look at that. Look at that architecture.
That really does look like something out of Harry Potter. If
Yep.
you're thinking more modern, like association. Like, look at the towers at the top.
Yep.
And then even to the right, we've got the clock and the flag.
It is a
Oh look, and it's
a
part
beautiful.
of Open House London.
Oh, Open House London, yes.
So this weekend we have Open House London. So a lot of the big buildings like this, they'll open up, and then people of the streets like us can go inside.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you have to book or if you can.
So
just
with the
queue.
open house, with some of the buildings, so like the Royal Courts of Justice or Downing Street, you do need to enter a ballot, and if you're
okay.
successful, then you can obviously
in.
go.
Yeah.
There are other buildings across London that you're kind of free to enter, and I think you're given like a half an hour or an hour tour,
Yeah.
all open, all free, so that's great. And I think it happens once a year.
Yeah. And we're heading a little bit more towards the city if we kept
I think,
going straight
yeah,
down the street.
I think this is where we're going to end this video. If you head if you head just straight down, you're going to end up on Fleet Street. This is where it's known for all the newspapers.
Yeah.
They were around there. And then into the city of London, and then towards St. Paul's and Bank. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and subscribe, and see you next time.